and direct the president to hire or fire, starting from a commissioner. As a commissioner, you are only appointed by the president. Everybody. He's the one who has the power to appoint, discipline, discipline and disappoint. Yes.
So you say nobody can direct the president to take action.
Like this minister here. This stupid. He has the power to.
So you also know they are roofing. You know them.
Yes, sir.
But for you, these days you are dancing. You have so many issues somewhere.
I think he's doing legal practice.
If we get a bit of time.
Legal practice is spoiling you. I know you lawyers. Yeah, I gave up on those things. I gave up. I can't handle those things when I'm. You know, you have to prepare. When you have to do one a week, you have to prepare for it.
I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting you. That's why you don't.
Yes. Hey, I'm around. Are you going with us to? Are you going with us to Eastern or Western? Legal.
You want to do what?
Legal. You haven't visited the.
No. Things are not chosen to go.
No, all of us. It's on our program. Check.
Yeah.
Legal and parliamentary.
If you get your money, check on your account, you got the money.
How much?
2 million.
No. He's pulling you.
I remember when they just had to do a legal watch. They should have given you she almost tried. I don't remember. There's a lot to that.
Yeah. But there's absolutely no project can ever take place. can't apply for
I don't want to. I don't apply for strike when I'm here. That's when you put me. Why don't you put a number? Yeah, you can put one. I'll put only one and say, my former president.
You write the letter.
What I told you, let's go now.
You first of all come back quickly.
I look at what I have. You have to put indoors by 5.
I'm looking for the. I can make it straight.
You know, you are disciplined man. I mean you.
But of course, I'm in charge. She's complaining. When I told her, the other day, I told her, can you put some kind of breakdown? She refused.
Breakdance. How did you say?
Did you break down? What did I tell you?
You know, there are things that God exempted me from.
No, but
And that
with me,
includes breakdance.
that's why. No, that's why.
I am exempted from
That's why.
those things.
That's why.
Okay, so you
That's why
can break dance on my behalf.
No, that's why I'm established.
Me, I am exempted from now guys. Chinagana told me, are you coming here? I said, now they run. I'm exempted from running. I can't run. I can't do what? It is a
No,
run.
but you are not exempted from moral boosting.
It is a run. It is not a moral book. It is a run.
I will not go with that.
So,
No, it is. You see, Richard, you are
today you are in
whether we
research.
that your research now.
Today you are in research.
You see, that are from Friday, you sit here. Then Madam says, your research today.
You can practice for polygamy.
No, no, see.
I will.
Kulaba kuyitimbagana okweddyo okugoberera nange kwendi bwoteka hanyuma yange kugoberera nange olina okungoberera tekamu awo hanyuma yange efeso tulina okwewagira
Mayanda MP kosa na Luyima yanze nkugoberera following Peter nawe wabadde kyali wadde naye nkugoberera buli byakubiriza nziraba kalindi kyenzibuza okuba nga nkomentinga n'okusheyalinga ekikulu bya budgeti wakaima oliawo wakaima ng'erinnya lyo
Honorable members, Madam Speaker,
Prayer. Almighty God, we in the Philippine congregation of avoidance of federal leaders and parliaments who just started just come to humanity. We beseech you to look upon with the abundant favor these your servants who have been pleased for the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon here assembled and granted may as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come by their deliberation. Be so just and fully manner to promote your honor and glory and to advance the good of those who increase you have committed to your church.
Item 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, first I must apologize for coming in late. It's not my nature that I come after 2. And I had adjourned the house to 10 today, but we got some challenges with the budget committee that is still considering the budget. And remember, the deadline is today. We have really to finish the budget. I pray that you consider my apology. As you are aware that we are pressed with this time, it's a constitutional obligation that we must finish the budgeting process, the supply. We've gone through the whole process. Today we are basically meant to do the supply. And as we wait for the committee to come, they said they'll be here in the next 30 minutes. As we wait for the committee, we will start with a petition from some we'll start with the report. We will amend the order paper and have a report on a petition from residents of Nyakesi, Izon, from Tororo. And then we'll also have the Kasoli report. But I had asked the Attorney General to come and make a presentation or give us a status of the case of Segrinya. And I need the status to be delivered to the House. So Attorney General, we need a status of Segrinya. We need the status on compensation. We also need a status on the brutal arrest of Dr. Vesije. We need that. But before you come up, there is one person I'm seeing here. I don't know whether I'm seeing the right person because she was declared dead. Honorable Nandu, to want to welcome you and want to thank God that you've recovered and you're in one shape. And kindly, could you just stand up to confirm that you're still alive?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And may I sanitize them such that I can put. I want to remove the mask to confirm to honorable colleagues in Parliament that I am alive. I did not die. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and my colleagues, members of Parliament, for the prayers that you offered while I was on my sick bed. The speculation went around that I had fallen in the bathroom. I had slept in the bathroom. But I want to clarify that I did not fall in the bathroom. I did not fall in the bathroom, but I just felt dizziness. And when I was taken to hospital, I was diagnosed with a blood clot in my lungs. So I would like to thank God for rescuing my life. I'm now very okay. I also want to thank the Dr. Cheng, the director of Mulago Hospital, and the medical team that did everything to save my life. I also want to join Honorable Semuju to confirm to this country that Mulago is the best hospital that we have in this country. And they can manage all situations, because a blood clot in the lungs is not a simple thing. But they did all they could. They took me through all the machines and discovered the blood clot and treated it. I am now okay. I am back, fresh and reloaded, and ready to perform my work. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. But I want to encourage members to do periodical checkups. We should check ourselves. Covered this blood clot at an earlier stage. So let's check ourselves. The machinery is there in Mulago. They can check any organ in your body and do the exercises. Do the exercises regularly. That is the only caution I want to give to my fellow members of parliament.
Thank
you
you
so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Honorable Pendi, could you come and
Presentation of petition.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I move under Rule 30 of our Rules of Procedure to present this humble petition of the residents of Nyakesi E-Zone, Iokango Parish, Nyang'ole Sub-County in Tororo District. Right Honorable Speaker, this is your humble petition as a residents of Nyang'ole E-Zone, Iokango Parish, Nyang'ole Sub-County, who are living in fear due to the continued harassment, intimidation, provocation, and sometimes violent attacks by one Owori Sylvia Damali, her agents and security personnel, who claim to be acting from
Honorable Semuju, procedure matter. Ibrahim.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. The colleague who is presenting a petition, I said she's doing so under Rule 30. Rule 32 says a petition shall be filed with a clerk. We shall immediately notify the whips and table them before the business committee. Madam Speaker, I am the whip of the FDC. I am not aware of that petition, and I have not discussed it in the business committee. Maybe she's moving under a different rule, but Rule 30 requires that you file it with the clerk sends us copies. I don't have my copy. So is there another 30 in this book of rules of procedure?
Honorable Pendi. Entrenched. You're moving under Rule 6, 36, 30 sub, okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, under Rule 30, Sub-Rule 6, notwithstanding Sub-Rule 5, the Speaker may refer a petition yes. Not withstanding sub-rule 5, the speaker may refer a petition of an urgent matter to a particular minister or committee. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I bring this petition. We have brought petitions here before so that they are presented and the speaker can then make the necessary decision. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
And for me to refer a petition to a particular committee or to a ministry, it must be from this house. And I can't do it in my office.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the petitioners aver that this person is claims to be acting on the instructions from His Excellency the President. The petitioners grabbing over 90 acres of land. Citizens have been peacefully living for decades. She has already displaced some families, fenced off compounds and gardens of crops, and continues to encroach on other land with her armed security personnel standing. Security guards have beaten up innocent people working in different gardens or simply gathering firewood for livelihood. She has constructed a road through people's gardens through which she drives her vehicles to areas she claims she employed soldiers to chase away some of the people cultivating in their gardens, and in some cases she has been plowing up people's gardens at night with armed people standing guard. She has also prevented children and teachers from accessing their private primary school. This is specifically Heroes Foundation Primary School, and even the worshippers of Abundant Life Church from accessing the place of worship, claiming the church and school have been constructed on her land. In September 2020, in a bid to take control of the land, she erected a tomb, apparently being that of her late grandfather, in the compound of the private primary school cited above. Your petitioners, Right Honorable Speaker, aver that they have tried to seek help from the government through the offices of the Uganda Police Force, the Resident District Commissioner, even the courts of law, through the offices of the Area LC1, without tangible relief to the residents, as the mere mention of General Salim Saleh's name seems to intimidate most of them from helping the complainants. They have tried to engage some law firm for guidance, and indeed, Honorable Warrior has been served with court summons from the Chief Magistrate's Court in damage to crops, but she appears not to be bothered. Before the arrival of Sylvia Wari to this community, the residents had been living in harmony, settled peacefully and cooperative all through, although members come from different clans and tribes. The residents have lived in the land with their families and dependents for decades, and some have official documents to prove ancestral rights of inheritance to the land in question. A number of meetings have been held by the community regarding this matter since 2018, but without any success, Right Honorable Speaker. To date, your petitioners have been denied access to their land by the said Sylvia Wari Damali and her agents. Now, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, your humble petitioners pray that Parliament intervenes in this matter and rescues your petitioners from the land grabbers, and your humble petitioners, as is duly bound, will ever pray. And here too, the humble petitioners, Right Honorable Speaker, numbering, yes, they are not numbered, numbering 244, have appended their signatures with a letter that was addressed to you, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Pende. I am directing the Minister of Lands to go and find out what is happening on interim, as the Committee of Infrastructure handles that issue. But the minister must go and see what is happening and put a temporary measure to stop the army men from hitting our locals.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I table the original petition that was addressed to you and signed by the petitioners. Thank you, Right Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you, honorable members.
Laying
Thank
of
you.
papers, Attorney General.
Honorable members. Yes, lay the paper.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I've been asked to lay two reports. The first report, claimants in Acholi, Lango, and the Teso sub-regions. I beg to lay.
Please lay. Members will give you copies, all of you copies of that report, and you look at it.
We already submitted to
Clerk,
the clerk's office.
I want you to give all those members from affected areas the copies, and they look at it.
Right Honorable Speaker, my second report which I'm laying is a brief on the court matters involving the Honorable Sewanyana Alan Aloysius and the Honorable Segirinya Muhammad, members of the 11th Parliament. I beg to lay.
Can you read the report? Read that one, we need to hear.
This in particular. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, on the 17th day of May 2022, I was requested, I'm reading the words of the Attorney General who has signed. On the 17th day of May 2022, I was requested by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament to present to this House an update on the court matters involving Honorable Alan Sewanyana, the status of the matter as established from the Office of the Director of Prosecutions, or DPP. Honorable Sewanyana and Honorable Segirinya Honorable Sewanyana and Honorable Segirinya, together with the 4 others, were arrested by the Uganda police on the 6th day of September 2021 upon obtaining information that the 2 members of Parliament were involved in the murder of 3 persons in Masaka district. They were, as per the law, on the 7th of September 2021, charged under Masaka CRB Criminal Register Book number 605 of 2021 with the offenses of murder contrary to section 188 and 189 of the Penal Code Act, Cap 120, terrorism contrary to section 7, subsection 1A, 2B, and D of the Anti-Terrorism Act 2002, and attempted murder contrary to section 204A of the Penal Code Act, and aiding and abetting terrorism contrary to section 8 of the Anti-Terrorism Act 2002, with respect to the attempted causing of death of 1 person. On 29th of September 2021, the 2 MPs appeared in court in Masaka, and the new charges under Luengo CRB 203 of 2001 were formally communicated to them and remanded in prison. These related to the murder of yet another victim, which is alleged to have occurred at Kiseka B village in Luengo district. On 23rd of November 2001, the 2 accused On 23rd of November 2001, the 2 accused with 4 others were, as per the law, committed to the next convenient session of the International Crimes Division of the High Court of Uganda in respect of Masaka CRB 605 of 2001. On the 28th of March 2002, the accused and 1 other person were similarly committed to the next convenient High Court session with regard to Luengo CRB 203 of 2001. The next stage
is for their cases to be cause listed for trial at the International Crimes Division and the Masaka High Court, respectively. I beg to submit. This
Thank
is a
you.
report as provided to us by the Office of the Director of Prosecution, DPP.
Thank you. Next item.
Itself.
On that matter.
Madam Speaker,
You know,
The-
Honorable Semuju, this case is before court. We cannot start discussing what is before court. That would amount to sub judice. What we can do it behind the scene, the way we have always done. You come, we will call DPP so that we can get all the details. Let's not discuss it here. It would help our friends.
Motion that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply for consideration and approval of the supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for the financial year 2021-2022.
Honorable Minister of Finance brought here supplementary yesterday. And because of the time, and since budget is coming up with its supply, we may not be able to wait for longer. So Minister, can you move your motion? And you know very well this House has powers to process. And I would request that we suspend Rule 153. Yes, motion.
Right Honorable Speaker, aware that the minister must complete supply in this financial year through presentation of a supplementary budget as laid down, privy to the rules of this House under Rule 16 that states that a member may, with the consent of the Speaker, to a particular motion before the House, and if the motion is carried, the rule in question shall be suspended. And those rules under sub-clause 2 that are not suspendable include 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 1, 16, and 98. With the circumstances before us, Right Honorable Speaker, under Rule 153, in consideration of the supplementary estimates responsible for financial in accordance with Article 1562 of the Constitution and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 present before Parliament supplementary estimates on behalf of the President. Right Honorable Speaker, our hands are tied in this case, and the rules under Rule 149, Sub-Rule 4, clearly states that the Committee of Supply shall consider and approve estimates and expenditure not later than the 20th day of May. Therefore, the main budget that we have to attend to for the coming financial year has a deadline, and we have a supplementary. In this motion, Right Honorable Speaker, I move that we suspend Rule 153 in its 153.2 and 152.3 and 153.2, 153.3, 153.4, and then we supply in accordance with the law.
Thank you, Honorable Mehdi. Is it seconded? Seconded by Honorable Mehdi, Honorable Gilbert, Honorable Mbwa, Ethel, Wakiso, Hanifa, Odur, Avur, Idi, Honorable there, Rose, the whole House. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Oh, court.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to move that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Yes,
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Muhammad Nsereko moved the motion.
can I put a question that Nsereko's motion be adopted by this honorable house? Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. That's why it is good to have Honorable Semuju in the house.
Madam Speaker, I beg to repeat.
And honorable members, kindly don't feel bad when we don't entertain so much of procedure, order. As I said before, I want you to go and do accountability in your constituencies. And today you must leave and go and do accountability. We must finish. Yes.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to move that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply for consideration of supplementary schedule number 2 for financial year 2021-2022. I beg to move.
Is it seconded? Seconded by Semuju, by Nsereko, Masawa, Silwanyi, Mbwa, Wilson, Ajok, the whole house. Moma is also there. Can you speak to your motion?
Madam Speaker, in line with Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, supplementary schedule 2 amounting to Uganda shillings 617.948 billion was presented for consideration by Parliament as summarized below. Vote 001, Office of the President, Uganda shillings 86.311 billion to cater for external financing from Exim Bank for the National Science, Technology, Engineering, and Innovation Skills Enhancement Project. Vote 002, State House, Uganda shillings 77 billion is required for classified expenditure. Vote 004, Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Uganda shillings 152.044 billion, of which Uganda shillings 64.497 billion is to facilitate UPDF Operation Suja in Democratic Republic of Congo against the Allied Democratic Forces following deployment of the UPDF in Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uganda shillings 87.546 billion to facilitate UPDF carry-out operations in Karamoja sub-region. Under vote 014, Ministry of Health, external financing amounting to Uganda shillings 0.066 billion is required to facilitate completion of Kayunga and Yumbe hospitals' outstanding project activities during the 6-month period of January to June 2022. Under vote 016, Ministry of Works and Transport, an amount of Uganda shillings 25 billion is required to facilitate works on the security roads in the Karamoja sub-region. Under vote 018, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, we require a subvention in support of number 1, Uganda shillings 2.5 billion to facilitate election of the office bearers for the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. And Uganda shillings 1 billion is required for Fort Portal Catholic Diocese, and Uganda shillings 0.6 billion is required for Greater Ankole Diocese to facilitate preparations for the Uganda Matters Day celebrations in Namugongo for 2022. Under vote 176, Naguru Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, can I have attention of members?
Honorable members, can you listen to the member?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Under vote 176, Naguru Referral Hospital, an amount of Uganda shillings 0.183 billion is required as additional non-tax revenue to facilitate procurement and maintenance of diagnostic equipment, as well as meet various administrative expenses in the non-tax revenue collection process. Under vote 205, Mission in Cairo, Uganda shillings is required to facilitate procurement of 2 motor vehicles for the head and deputy head of Uganda's mission in Cairo. Madam Speaker, under salary and wage shortfalls, we require 251.779 billion to meet wage shortfalls under various central and local government votes. And lastly, under vote 500, local government, an amount of Uganda shillings 21.068 billion is required as additional local revenue projections to cater for the land compensation payments to a number of local governments from UNRA, farmers co-funding under UGFIT micro-scale irrigation, and local revenue collections in excess of appropriation budget for financial year 2021-2022, among others. And the details have been provided. Madam Speaker, how are we going to finance this supplementary request? We shall finance it in 2 categories. Under category 1, which includes state house security roads, and salary shortfalls totaling to 510.319 billion shall be financed through borrowing. Under category 2, supplementaries, category 2 is funded by additional local revenue and external financing. And these include local revenue, external financing, and non-tax revenue amounting to 107.628 billion. The total sum is 617.947 billion. With these few points, Madam Speaker, I beg that the House considers this supplementary request. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vor. Honorable members, this is a direct thing. I don't think we need a lot of debate, really.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to move that we move straight to Supply Committee, given that, Madam Speaker, we have the budget coming up and the whole country is waiting for that as well. I beg to move.
Order.
There's a procedural matter.
Madam Speaker.
And members, as
Order.
Katesh.
Madam Speaker, is a point of order, and in our rules it takes precedence. Because you can be moving a procedure when you are disorderly. The colleague who has just spoken said we move straight. Parliament doesn't move like a herd of cattle. It is moved. So under which rule are you asking us to move just like that? Madam Speaker, is she in order to come here and tell Parliament to move like a herd of cattle that we move?
Honorable Semuju Ibrahim of Kira. Kira Motors, eh? Kira. That was her suggestion. Subject.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank Honorable, my senior, Honorable Semuju, for that correction.
Yes.
I move under Rule 154,
Procedure,
Right Honorable Speaker.
Okay,
Procedure.
okay. Procedure matter.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I am a member of the Budget Committee. And while we are busy signing the report for the same, we were informed that we are being taken over by the events taking place in the House. Budget Committee, the minister reported, we handled the matter, and we have a report. Honorable Kateshumbwa was the one who, chaired that meeting. Before, wouldn't it be procedure right before a member runs us to so quickly to...
I made a disclaimer at the beginning. We cannot continue sitting from morning to sunset. We're supposed to start the House at 10. And the members were here. Sympathize with my members. They have not even had lunch. Honorable members, first wait. The members have been here. Honorable member, with due respect, I appreciate. Actually, if I was you, I would have gone back to finalize on the budget. You would actually go back. That is more important.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Can I hear from the law?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The job at hand is what partly brings us here, to do on behalf of the people. that as we process this in the manner it is coming, you compel the budget committee to produce the report before them that has been pending for the last almost 1 month, more than a month actually, relating the 2 trillion. Because part of the money the minister wants to get in this supplementary is part of what they are processing in the 2 trillion request. You may say no, but trying to access that. So the neater thing to do, Honorable Speaker, is for that report to come and we understand what actually has been cleared by Parliament. Then the minister will be really at large and will have latitude to consider what to partake of. At the moment, we are dealing with a speculative minister and we are here to tell him to go to a casino and pick money and finance this supplementary budget. So may you please compel that committee to produce that minister from being a gambler on our behalf.
Honorable members has spoken to his motion. I want to ask Honorable Katesh, do you have an objection to what the minister, the one who was chairing?
Right Honorable Speaker, by the powers conferred on me by the chair of the Budget Committee, we do not have any objection and we apologize for the delay in bringing the report, but we have no objection to what the minister has presented.
Procedure.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply to consider the supplementary schedule 2 of 2022. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The beginning of the battle.
Vote 001, Office of the President.
Honorable members, can you settle down? This coffee man here. Honorable Bed.
Vote 001, Office of the President.
I propose a question that the sum of 86.311 billion be approved under vote 001, Office of the President for external financing from Exim Bank for the National Science, Technology, Engineering, and Innovation Skills Enhance Project. Those in favor say and contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 002, State House.
I propose a question that a sum of 77 billion be approved for classified expenditure under vote 002 for State House. Those in favor say and contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 004, Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
I propose a question that a sum of 152044 billion. 152.044 billion be approved under vote 004, Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs to facilitate operations Shuka in DRC against ADF and UPDF to carry out operation in Karamoja sub-region. Those in favor say and contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 014, Ministry of Health.
I propose a question that a sum of 25 billion. I propose a question, a sum of 0.066 billion be approved under vote 014, Minister of Health and Yumbe Hospital's outstanding project activities during the 6-month period from January to June 2022. Those in favor say and contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 016, Ministry of Works and Transport.
I propose a question that a sum of 25 billion be approved under vote 016, Minister of Works and Transport to facilitate the works on security roads in Karamoja. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 018, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
I propose a question that a sum of 2.500 billion be approved under vote 018, Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development to facilitate election of office bearers for Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and 1 billion for photo diocese, specifically 500 for Virika diocese and 500 for Namgongo and 0.600 billion for Greater Ankole diocese to facilitate the preparation of Martyrs' Day celebration for 2022.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Those in favor say aye.
Procedure.
The ayes have it.
Vote
Procedure.
176, Naguru Referral Hospital.
Procedure, Madam Chair.
At committee stage, we really go to procedure. Honorable Semuju, I know you're one of the most senior people in this house. And with the due respect, Honorable Semuju, you don't go on procedure here. .06 billion. Yes, that's what I heard. Hmm. Honorable members, a slight correction, 0.600 billion for 0.600 billion for Greater Ankole Diocese to facilitate the preparation of Uganda Matter Celebration 2022. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 176, Naguru Referral Hospital.
I propose a question that the sum of 0.183 billion be approved under vote 176, Naguru Referral Hospital as a non-tax revenue to facilitate the procurement and maintenance of diagnostic equipment as well as meet various administrative expenses in the NTR collection process. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 205, Mission in Cairo.
I propose a question that the sum of 0.396 billion be approved under vote 205, Mission in Cairo to facilitate the procurement of 2 motor vehicles for head and deputy head of Mission in Cairo. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Salary and wage shortfalls for central and local government votes attached as Annex 2.
I propose a question that the sum of Uganda shillings 251.
Madam Chair, salaries is a statutory deduction. And if it's a statutory deduction, I don't understand how the government can budget for salary and we get a shortfall. And this is one of the areas I think which is being abused by government, because if you have employed me for 12 months, one of the first priority call on the budget in any time. So Madam Speaker, I want to understand, Madam Chair, how did the Minister of Finance budget and we came up with a shortfall of this magnitude? And this is a lot of money, and you cannot tell us that you forgot these people.
Honorable Nathan, that's a very good one. But in the staff establishment of government, you'll find in one or the other, there was a recruitment, and it is not static that you must have only. Just take an example of Parliament of Uganda. When we came in, because of the increased number of members of parliament, which was not budgeted for, but we had to go ahead and recruit more members to help in the running of the institution. And when you look at your schedule, you'll find there is a list. Kindly look at that list, Annex 2.
Madam Chair, I can't put it any better than you have done, but let me emphasize. In the current financial year 2021-2022, we passed this budget on 31st of May. And since this budget became operational in July, on 8th of June, His Excellency the President appointed ministers. Among the ministers he appointed, some were ex-officials. The budget we approved in May did not envisage this. The President went further and appointed advisors. He has appointed RDCs. In the army, we have had promotions. Or like the Speaker has said, Parliament in between has made fresh recruitments, among many other reasons. So the total comes up to this. This is how this figure arises. Thank you.
Madam Chair, under section 15 of the PFM, before we approve the budget, there is Parliament is presented with the procurement plan, the recruitment plan, and it's on the basis how the cash flow is passed over to those entities. So Madam Chair, everybody knows there's nobody who can appoint anybody outside the approved plan. There's nobody, because that's why I would say the budget is there. And by the way, if there's recruitment in the middle of the financial year, we would be having balance of cash because at the beginning, we had enough money. If there is a recruitment, promotion, they're also budgeted for. Madam Chair, the reason I'm raising this shortfall of salaries is a danger to the country. People are go unpaid. They are the ones bring areas, but you have staff and you don't pay. So Madam Speaker, for me, if we're going to pass this one today, it should be sounded as a warning so that the accounting officers who really bring salary areas to make people they have employed to suffer should be held personally liable.
And also I want to urge our committees in terms of compliance, they must make sure that they make a follow-up on this thing. And as Honorable Nandala said, don't bring back this kind of supplementaries. Yes,
Madam
Mehdi?
Chair, in the same spirit, as Honorable Nandala has stated, we also, and I want honorable colleagues to understand, we've been having a problem of councillors who got constituencies but had not, their wages had not been budgeted for. Had over 50,000 voters. So according to number, the Electoral Commission increased the number of councillors in order to improve on representation. But in future, like the Honorable Nandala has said, that every planning should be tagged. As we increase constituencies for political leaders, it should be tagged to the financial implication that it will bring. So these councillors have gone 8 months without being paid since they had been sworn in. In this case, we accept this, but in future, please, since you're the Minister of Finance and Planning, look much more forward. This is acceptable today.
Thank you, Chair.
Madam Chair and members, this issue is an issue of concern. As a budget committee, we discussed it and asked the minister. We acknowledge, members, that this financial year we are in, the whole government budget suffered a separation. That separation is one of the causes of the problems we are having because commitments were made and then the minister applied an across the board separation, which resulted in 2 shortfalls. We have tasked the minister to make sure that the items that they have the first call on the budget are prioritized. And he has confirmed, and I want to assure with this kind of mistake, of challenges, we are going to be much tougher on the ministry. Thank you. I beg to submit.
I propose a question that sum of 251,779 billion be approved for salary and wage shortfalls for central and local government votes attached to Annex 2. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Remember, this money is going to your constituencies.
Vote 500, local governments.
I propose a question that sum 21.068 billion be approved as additional local revenue projection for land compensation payments to a number of local governments from UNRWA. Farmers co-funding under the UGFIT, micro-scale irrigation, and local revenue collection in excess of the appropriated budget for the financial year 2021-2022. Details in Annex 3. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, as we accept all, as you earlier ruled, the Ministry of Finance should be able to expeditiously ensure that it brings the matter on floor, which amends the Public Finance Management Act Because now you realize all these local governments have been waiting for Parliament to approve their expenditures over and above what was approved by the different councils. And you realize that this was an anomaly by the PFMA over the constitution. So as early as possible, the minister brings that amendment so that these local councils don't
Honorable
suffer.
Ethel, yesterday I requested the Minister of Finance to come with amendments in the PFMA that contradict the Constitution. And we need those amendments as soon as possible. Honorable Minister, have you heard? We need amendments to the PFMA.
Madam Chair, we take your concern and the concern of the House. We are going to pursue this in the in the next session.
Thank you.
Toto.
I propose a question that a total of some 617.947 billion be approved for supplementary expenditure number 2 for the financial year 2021-2022. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. Maybe for avoidance of doubt, Category 1 supplementaries that will be funded by additional borrowing is State House, which is classified 77 billion. Defense, 152.044 billion. Interreligious Council, 4.100 billion. Mission in Cairo, 0. Roads, 25 billion. Salary shortfalls, 251.779 billion. Category that totals to 510.319 billion. Category B, supplementaries that will be funded by additional local revenue and external funding is local revenue of 21.067 billion, external financing of 86.378 billion, non-tax revenue of 0.183 billion, totaling to 107.628 billion. And that gives us a total of 617.947 billion.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the Committee of Supply reports thereto.
I put a question that the House does resume and the Committee of Supply reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of Supply has considered supplementary schedule number 2 for financial year 2021-2022 amounting to Uganda shillings 617.948 billion and passed it with no amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move be adopted.
I now put a question that the report of the Committee of Supply be adopted by this Honorable House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. I now instruct the clerk to Parliament to ensure that the details are contained in the annexes and the schedules are duly captured and forwarded to finance. Yes, procedure from Patrick.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what we've just done, we did it because the minister came here yesterday and submitted the supplementary schedule yesterday at the end of this session. We have tried to do our best in concluding this. But what we've done, Madam Speaker, we've allowed the minister to borrow 510 billions, which would ordinarily be done through our Committee of National Economy, where the minister would have gone first, show the indication that he wants to borrow this money, then he comes to Parliament with the proof that, you know, I'm going to borrow this money, and this is processes. But Madam Speaker, coming here, the minister, to make us look so shabby, it was really not so fair at all. Madam Speaker, as a committee, we had processed. I had a minority report about that, but all that was not given opportunity just because of the time that we even have to look. So I would like to implore the minister, when these things are to happen, they should never happen again in this mode, so that we don't look so shabby as members of Parliament and Parliament as Parliament. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, make that commitment.
Madam Speaker, today I received the compliments that I was smart.
Hey.
I'm just wondering, Honorable Oshabe, am I shabby?
Honorable Minister, the shabbiness I was talking about, Honorable Minister.
Honorable members, there is a chair in this house. You don't go and ask direct. Can you respond? What the honorable member is saying, the shabby work, not the shabby person in you. You're a very smart person. You're a very smart person. Maybe from outside, you're a very smart person. We don't know what could be inside. So,
Madam Speaker, to the best of my knowledge, yesterday we laid supplementary schedule number 2 before this house. Today morning at 10, I laid it formally before the Committee on Budget. I was asked questions which I responded to the best of my ability.
You've just instructed the minister to give a commitment to this house that next time the ministry is not going to make this house to appear the way it is, and the ministry very well knew the timelines. Madam Speaker, we are expecting the minister to make a commitment that this kind of habit of bringing such untimely budgets and making us to work like nothing and making going to happen again. We are expecting a commitment.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, the person who is putting you to order is a very organized lady. That's one thing I can tell you. By the time she puts you on order, it must be a calculated order. So just make a commitment that next time you will not do the same and you will come early enough. And you're organized in your own way, but it is because of unavoidable circumstances.
Sorry, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we will continue to improve in the circumstances because supplementary, I cannot know when a supplementary will come, but I will continue to improve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Is that Tororo or Kasese? Honorable Atkins of Kasese.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, let's listen to Honorable Atkins.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Fox Odoi, there is a market in Tororo there, in a place called Kasoli, where they laugh like that.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
He says he has something to say.
Right, Honorable Speaker, this is a matter of national importance. The Honorable Atkins has not paid bride price to the people of Tororo.
Honorable Atkins, that was a joke. That was a joke. Honorable members, in the 10th Parliament, I was a matron in that where they paid bride price. And we paid bride price, we took the wife, and it's not anything to be discussed about. But what would happen if this house didn't have some fun? So it is just commercial break.
I appreciate your leadership, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity. Madam Speaker, I think the Ministry of Finance and the minister that has just presented this is making every attempt to reduce this house to a house that will have to focus on a product in order to process. The same minister wants to reduce this house to a house that will focus on destination and not the journey. But I have something that I want to communicate to the minister. That it is the process that determines the product. It is the journey that determines the destination. Madam Speaker, you and I and everybody in this house are people's representatives. I come from a community that is water-starved, where people drink from water that has collected on a tarmac road. And we have presented the same issue to the minister to bring a supplementary budget so that every citizen in this country enjoys the best right of clean, safe drinking water. Madam Speaker, I think it's sad that we want to masquerade to continue claiming to be leaders, yet the people that sent us here cannot even get the basic need called water. My procedural issue, Madam Speaker, and I'm waiting for the aggregated. I'm not gonna give you the clarification. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna give you the clarification because this is so passionate. By the grace of God, I was in the 10th Parliament. By the grace of God, I'm in the 11th Parliament. We keep singing the same song. Seeing our fellow citizens, they cannot afford even the basic right, which is a universal right, safe, clean drinking water. And yet we're in a country with communities that have water for even animals. Clarification under the condition that the speaker will still give me the opportunity to wind up my submission.
You wanna what?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Right Honorable Katusabe. Honorable Katusabe, from the time you started speaking, I haven't understood anything. And everybody behind me and in front of me are saying the same thing. They didn't understand anything. For example, what is water? I haven't understood anything. Can you simplify what you want to say?
First of all, Honorable Margaret Mohanga, we want to welcome you back and we thank God for your life. Welcome back. And
thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I also join in welcoming back my young sister. My procedural issue, Madam Speaker, the fact that tonight we're going to be having a budget. Is it too late for us to give our fellow citizens, especially those that come from water-starved communities, including Kasese, a gift? Safe drinking water. The people that will meet this budget, Madam Speaker, are the people that don't have water, drinking water. Madam Speaker, wouldn't it be a procedural right that as much as we continue entertaining budgets that are not aligned to our national needs, we should give the same attention to basic needs like clean, safe drinking water. Thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you, Honorable Atkins. Let's wait in the budget. We are going to, a provision has been made for water, and water will be taken to Kasese. And it's not only to Kasese, to the whole country. We want town water and then rural water. That will be handled. Honorable Nandala, kindly allow us first.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Nandala, honorable members.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for that commitment. And in this house, you have the last word.
And if it is not
thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
If it is not fulfilled, you ask me. Honorable members, we have a report. We have a report, yes.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Me, I have not come here to oppose my brother for water, and I have been assuring honorable folks that his sister must be drinking very wrong water, so we must provide water for him. So, Madam Speaker, yesterday, I was here, I promised to deliver coffee. And I want
Honorable Chairman of Bugisu Cooperative Union,
Yes,
we
Madam.
want to thank you so much for the coffee.
Yes.
And in this parliament, we have commissioners. Can I request you to hand over the coffee to Honorable Silwani right there, Commissioner of Parliament, and you'll give a packet for each member of Parliament.
Thank you very much,
And
Madam Speaker. I have brought the coffee, looks like this. Madam Speaker. And I want to give you the coffee. Every member of Parliament will get a packet. Those who need more, the telephone is there. The best coffee is this one you must drink. It is written on Elgon Pride.
Thank you.
Roasted
Madam-
and it's the
Madam
best, Madam
Speaker.
Thank you.
I want to
Thank you.
Much obliged, Honorable Speaker. I thank you and his lady.
Honorable members.
Speaker, I want to draw your attention to the industrial action that has been taking place since yesterday by health workers related medical treatment in our villages. You never gave us a chance to bring matters of national importance, so I thought you could compel the Ministry of Health to give us an update on how they are handling that industrial action. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. That will be handled. Can we have a report of Kasoli Tenants?
Motion.
Circle Limited.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure on the petition in the matter of Kasoli Tenants Circle Limited, Kasoli Housing Project.
Honorable members, on 5th October 2021, this issue was brought into the House, and it was brought by a woman member, Honorable Sarah Opendi Katushabe. She presented it to this House, and the report is ready to be read. Honorable Chair, members, we shall be having the budget in the next 20 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I'm here to present a report of the committee.
And maybe for information, this report has a minority report.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here to present a report of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure on the petition in the matter of Kasoli Tenant Circle project. And if I present, I beg to lay the minutes of the proceedings, and I beg to lay the report from the Chief Government Valuer, Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and supplementary submission on the issue. I beg to lay. Indeed, when we processed this report, one member, Honorable Ronnie Valimwezo, informed the committee that he was going to have a minority report because the information given to the committee, especially on the land in question by the ministry and the bank,
had some discrepancies, and we will have time for him to present his report. Right Honorable Speaker, by way of introduction, on 5th of October 2021, Honorable Sarah Opendi, District Woman Representative for Tororo, presented the tenant circle, and this Kasoli housing project is a low-cost housing project in Tororo municipality. It was established through a memorandum of understanding between Kasoli Tenant Circle on one hand and DFC Bank and UN Habitat for Humanity on the other hand. UN Habitat provided USD 500,000 for the project through DFC Bank for onward lending. DFC Bank topped up the amount with an equal figure of USD 500,000, and that made a total of 1 million US dollars. The funds were transferred to Kasoli Tenant Circle and the housing project commenced. However, in the course of project implementation, the circle was notified that the entire land area allocated to the housing project was in the project, and therefore the Kasoli Tenants Circle project would have to vacate upon compensation. The complaints of the petitioners were that the loan has now accumulated a figure to a tune of 3,186,096,558 Uganda shillings, and that DFCU Bank served them with three notices of default through Sebaru and Rure advocates, and proceeded to serve them with a notice of eviction through Bemuga strict auctioneers and court bailiffs, giving them 30 days to clear the entire outstanding loan or vacate the property within 14 days. They are, however, relying on the pending compensation from SGR to clear the loan. The bank had embarked on a foreclosure process, and the petitioners pray that the eviction process be stayed until the circle has been compensated by SGR. Right Honorable Speaker, if I go to the methodology, the committee relied on its field visit to the Kasoli housing project on 30th September 2022. The committee also perused through all the petitions referred to it from the House. The committee also received the submission from the following stakeholders: that petitioners, headed by the chairperson of the tenant circle, Minister of Works Transport, specifically Standard Gauge Railway, Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the contractors, Empire Contractors being the last stakeholder consulted. As a background, Government of Uganda through the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, as I said, in partnership with UN Habitat, DFCU Bank, Kasoli Housing Association, and Tororo Municipality, entered into an MOU to develop a low-cost housing project in Kasoli Village, that is Tororo Municipality, and the MOU is attached. Kasoli Village was initially an unplanned slum area with pathetic housing conditions. In 1988, the slum dwellers conceived a vision to change their pathetic living conditions to a healthy environment comprising of a low-cost housing project in that estate. And in 2003, they formed the Kasoli Tenant Circle to pilot the housing project. The project was developed 250 low-cost houses in 2 phases,
aimed at benefiting a total of 250 households of property owners in Kasoli slum area. The overall objective of the project was to pilot a new initiative of packaging low-income mortgages introduced by a partnership between several parties to minimize risks while aiming at a full cost recovery. And the specific objectives of the project were to provide security of tenure over land and houses for 250 households, 2, to provide access to basic infrastructure and services for the 250 households, 3, to provide access to housing finance for the 250 low-income earners, 4, to increase income generation capacity of members of the housing association, and 5, to improve the physical and urban environment of the overall improvement of housing conditions in that area, and 7, to bring housing finance to households with lower income thresholds. It was envisioned that upon successful piloting of this model, this model would be replicated in other slums across the country. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to go to the shareholder contributions, which is quite long, and because of the time and this project, this is uploaded. This shareholder contribution was, there was a down payment by Kasoli Housing Association of 1,250,000, and the roles and responsibilities are there. DFC Bank contributed 500,000. The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development contributed 770,000 as cash, and then land of value 345,000. Total local government, that's the municipality, contributed $1,701,350. Then UN Habitat for Humanity, $500,000 making a total of $2 billion, making a total of $2,411,350. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2012, the Kasoli Tenant Circle signed a contract with Empire Contractors to construct those 250 houses. However, in 2002 houses, Kasoli tenants who had completed 10%, who had deposited 10% of the expected cost of the houses, were allocated houses that are now in their possession. However, on 1st March 2016, the chairperson of Kasoli Circle Housing Estate received a letter from the project coordinator of SGR informing him that SGR alignment, as I said, was affecting their entire project, and that in the interest of public good and achieving the greater objectives of the government on infrastructure development, the housing estate was to relocate, and that government would fully compensate them in accordance with the compensation procedures and Land Acquisition Act, CAP 226. The findings of the committee. The committee made the following findings while deliberating on the petition. 1, on the implementation of the project. The initial works contract between Kasoli Tenants, SACCO, and the Empire Contractors
was signed on 19th December 2012 for construction of 108 low-cost housing units under phase 1. They were supposed to construct 83 two-bedroom houses at a cost of Uganda shillings 26,120,647 each, and 25 two-bedroom houses with a shop at a cost of 28,971,244. The project was to be completed within a period of 1 year. However, in the course of construction, the contractor informed the steering committee about some shortfalls not be overlooked. The issues raised were as follows: that some items in the contract bills of quantities were less than what were executed. 2, that there were items of works which had not been included in the contract BOQs, but had to be done because they were in the critical path of the project, like steel columns and the verandas, finishing the ceilings on the verandas, and constructing a sewage system, among others. 3, there were mistakes made during computation of the original contract BOQs, which created shortfalls. So the contractor went ahead and costed the shortfalls, presented them to the steering committee for verification, and in order to accommodate the additional costs, the steering committee decided to revise the contract by reducing the scope in the number of houses from 108 to 92, and to slightly increase the project cost of phase 1 UGX by UGX 1,896,391. The period of the contract was also extended for additional 2 months. For financing, DFCU Bank was to contribute 90% of the construction cost, while the tenants under the umbrella Kasoli tenant circle were to contribute 10%. DFCU Bank was to be recovered from the project beneficiaries over a 15-year period. Another finding was that another finding from the project beneficiary was that 89 houses were allocated to the 89 tenants who had made a down payment of 10% of the total cost of the house, and that the Kasoli tenant circle allocated the remaining 3 houses out of the 92 completed houses under phase 1 to 3 individuals, namely Taka Florence, who is deceased, Mr. Osul Isaac, and Mrs. Akumu Rebecca, Ito Opio, Alice Wilfred. However, available documents indicate that the 3 individuals did not deposit any amount of down payment for the houses. On funds for income enhancement for the beneficiaries of the 92 houses, the circle received a revolving fund of UGX 225,855,805 from the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development for income enhancement of the 92 households to enable them meet the loan obligations. On land, the land on which Kasoli Housing Project sits is the freehold register volume 1289/408. It is registered in the names it's registered in the names of Uganda Land Commission, but the use was restricted to Kasoli housing project by means of land. But that was at the time of signing the memorandum. But at the time of writing the report, the land had changed as per the chief government valuer's report in the attachments here presented. The land title does not indicate the acreage, and different documents indicate different acreages, with the mortgage documents including 5.3229 hectares, a title search indicating 3.891 hectares, and a measurement by SGR ground team resulted into 3.77 hectares. The land title indicates 167 plots. Yes, the plots are supposed to accommodate 250 houses. The strip map shows that some houses will overlap. On loan performance, DFC Bank issued a loan facility of UGX 2 billion, okay, of 2.6 billion on April 2013 against that mortgage of land title FRV 12848 under the names of the Land Commission. And the terms of the loan, as I've said, were at an interest rate of 10%. And the committee was informed that the interest rate on the fund provided by UN Habitat to DFC was 2%. Right, Honorable Speaker, there's a table there which shows the recovery by the time we made the report of 315,234,866. And it is also a payment schedule of funds released by the bank to Empire contractors also. That table amounting to 2,602,731,191. Right, Honorable Speaker, on compensation to tenants, on 1st of March 2006, the letter to the chairperson, Kasoli tenant, received from the project coordinator, SGR, assured the circle that it would be fully compensated, as I said. And the SGR land compensation proceeded with an evaluation of the land title and made findings the chief government valuer for guidance, and two findings the chief government valuer for guidance, and the latter advised that physical identification of beneficiaries be conducted before evaluation report of the area can be approved, and the beneficiaries were identified and classified into 3 groups, where we have 92 who benefited from the 92 houses, 93 who were in the occupation of the land before housing project, and then 125 who were in the neighboring slum. However, Right Honorable Speaker, several other claims from other individuals and entities came up, to include means of land, housing, and urban development, claiming to have given technical support, and Tororo municipality claiming to have graded the roads, and this made the two would be beneficiaries to be over and above the initially documented 250 persons. Another verification was done by a security team, and the list arising from that was different from the list of the original beneficiaries, and that list is also attached. And In that, we have Annex 2 comprising of the list of original beneficiaries, Annex 3 comprising of the list of project beneficiaries as produced by the security team, and then Annex 4 comprising of the list as verified by the government chief valuer. So all the three are there for comparison. On the issue of where the compensation funds were to be deposited, the Attorney General, in his letter dated 17th January 2017.
Honorable, can you summarize your report? What are your prayers?
Okay. Right, Honorable, I think I will not go to, let me just go to the observations and recommendations. Right, Honorable Speaker, the committee observes that Kasoli Housing Project is a tool for Uganda to work towards meeting the SDGs, and indeed the project promotes those SDGs and 17. And the committee also observed that the government had a hand in the failure of the beneficiaries to the Kasoli Housing Project to clear their loan obligations, and that the beneficiaries had to go. Honorable Speaker, I want to state here again that their houses were due for sale and a foreclosure process by DFCU, and the committee recommends that government as a priority should clear the outstanding mortgage with the DFCU bank and get back the land title to avoid accumulation of interest, and that SGR should be provided with UGX 4,231,292,975 to cover the verified project affected persons as per its evaluation report, broken down as follows. That is PAPs in the 92 houses, and that is the first phase project office, 3.7 billion. PAPs in the 90 structures in the existing slum, 817 million. The 17 freehold offers from the pool housing, that's about 143 million. And at UGX, 3.2 billion for the mortgaged land, that is 9.318 as valid by SGR and approved by the chief government valuer, should only be paid to the means of land, housing and urban development for acquisition if government is going to replicate the project elsewhere, otherwise government cannot pay itself. And that the compensation awards for the structures on the Kasoli land should be deposited on the individual account for the respective beneficiaries, and the SACCO should be notified about the direct payment so that it deals with the members individually. Another recommendation that the committee recommends that government should halt the sale of the property by BEMUG auctioneers and court bailiffs, since SGR has commenced the compensation of beneficiaries in Tororo district. Right, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the committee recommends that this report be adopted. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Can you give us a summary of your report? I have had a chance to look at the minority report. The minority report is a very good report that should be adopted together with the major report.
Thank
The
you.
issues must be considered.
Thank you, Right
Issues on
Honorable.
the issues of the land title.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issues raised in the minority report are based on the Kasoli petition, the National Development Plan 3, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Planning, Urban Development, and that of Works, and other key stakeholders who made presentation before the committee. Right Honorable Speaker, the points of dissent are as follows. Failure of the committee to make a viable verdict on the mortgage legal status. 2, failure of the committee to scrutinize the land title in question. 3, the silence of the report solely Housing Association. 4, failure of the committee to make critical scrutiny of the development of the plots and the beneficiaries question. 5, failure of the committee to make a proper judgment on the actual total land area of the Kasoli housing project in question. 6, failure of the committee to make a proper judgment on Ministry of Lands officials for the mismanagement of the partnership agreement between Kasoli Housing Association, UN Habitat, DFCU Bank Limited, Tororo Municipality Council, and Ministry of Lands.
Honorable Ronald, this is where I get a problem with you committee members. When you're a committee member, I expect you to bring most of those things and they're analyzed as a committee. All of you have a responsibility to furnish the committee with the information. That is a very, very good report, but you ought to have given your committee that these are the things. Making a minority report does not give you any credit for your information. But yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The honourable member is a member of our committee, very active, and a minister. What we agree with him is on one issue of amongst what he has raised, is the issue of the land title. We agree with him, and we even discussed this in the committee, like you were saying. But the rest, this report talks on all those other issues that you are raising. That we only agree with him on one issue. That is the mortgage value is very clear. Everything is very clear in the report. And we discussed all this at length in the committee. But as a formality for you to raise a minority report and for the good of this petition, because it was brought by a member and we know the agency and what the members of Kasoli are facing as a committee, we agree with everything, but let it be on record that the committee really only one issue, but the rest are all taken care of.
And honorable members, I want to tell you one thing. Being in opposition does not mean you need to oppose everything every time. Some of us have been there and we know it better. So you make your summary of your presentation.
Right, Honorable Speaker. True, I was in the committee.
Make your summary.
And these are dissent from the main report, and therefore they should be heard. Right, Honorable Speaker, failure of the committee to make a viable verdict on the mortgage legal status. The land in question, Right, Honorable Speaker, belongs to government. And the committee did not obtain a no objection on mortgaging this land to DFCU from Minister of Finance. That's very, very critical. Tororo, Uganda Land Commission acquired.
Who mortgaged the land?
Uganda Land Commission mortgaged the land to DFCU Bank.
Does ULC have powers to mortgage
It
government
has no
land?
powers. And that's the reason that I'm consult the Ministry of Finance. And therefore, that is an area where we are dissenting. Right Honorable Speaker, there was no information concerning the current outstanding mortgage sum. The parties involved in the transaction, BFCU and Kasoli Tenant Circle,
There's
never
outstanding
availed.
what? Outstanding what?
Pardon?
The outstanding what?
Outstanding mortgage sum.
The outstanding balance in the bank.
Yes.
Is
So that's
three,
the,
is 3,186,096,558 as per that report.
Right Honorable Speaker, we have tenants that we are supposed to do their part to pay a certain fee. So we don't know how much each of them paid to date. That should be deducted from the mortgage sum.
You know what we needed to do is to find how much is the outstanding mortgage fund, which they have given you as 3 billion. And then it is from there, and now I'm speaking to you as a former banker. It's from there that you differentiate who is supposed to pay what. Is it an individual supposed to pay this? Is it an institution paying this? That is what you're supposed to do. And if you are to go into further analysis, you now look at what is the principal amount that is supposed to be paid and what is the interest that has accrued on those loans.
Right Honorable Speaker, compensation is supposed to go to individual accounts, but we don't know exactly how much each paid so that they can be compensated, the total sum.
If I can remember very well what was said, 315,866 is what was collected from the tenants. However, the outstanding balance is 3.2. Take my advice. I'm giving you an advice as a banker now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, failure of the committee to scrutinize the land title in question. The committee did not critically scrutinize the land title of the Kasoli housing project land. Uganda Land Commission acquired a leasehold title, volume 597, folio 25, and instrument number 113479, measuring 10 acres from Tororo Town Council, as photocopies attached reveal. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee also received another title from Minister of Lands, freehold register volume 1289, folio 8, which was subdivided and mortgaged to DFCU by Uganda Land Commission, Annexure A. The committee did not establish whether leasehold register volume 597, folio 25 was cancelled, because you cannot change a leasehold to a freehold unless you have converted the land. So we have two titles running for 99 years of the same land. That cannot be. You cannot change a freehold to a leasehold. And therefore, the committee did not carry out thorough investigation to that effect.
Honorable Ronald, I want to help you. That was not the work of the committee. All you needed to say that Uganda Lands Commission issued 2 land titles. One which was a lease, and then the other one is freehold. That is your finding. Don't fault your committee where you belong to. It's your committee. Now introduce a new finding. Honorable Yusuf, you've been in lands longer. Can you help your member? Please. I am giving you an order.
Right, Honorable Speaker, a managing
Honorable Yusuf, please, can you guide the member on what I'm saying?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I think the point which my colleague is trying to put across.
Speak to the microphone.
The point my colleague is trying to put across that in respect of this particular piece of land in question, there are two titles.
Yes.
One is a leasehold and the other is a freehold.
Freehold.
Which puts the land in question subject to further scrutiny and puts it there in question. So that now any recommendations that we're making to do with the compensation of the people on the ground may be futile because there are two titles in respect of the same piece of land issued by the same authority.
Thank you.
Then there's also the other second limb. There's a leasehold created in another leasehold. Should have been a sublease.
Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I have valid information, and as such, I would like you to listen to me. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ronald, you have no instructions to tell me to listen to you. That is one. But next time, this house, we all learn from each other, but you don't direct me to listen to you. Okay?
Most obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the silence of the committee report on the relationship between Kasoli Tenant Circle and Kasoli Housing Association. The committee failed to differentiate between Kasoli Tenant Circle from Kasoli Housing Association. On the 18th day of February 2010, the Kasoli Housing Association, not Kasoli Housing Association, UN Habitant, DFCU, Federal Municipality Council, and Minister of Land went into a partnership agreement, but on signing the partnership, they used a stamp with the details of Kasoli Tenant Circle Limited. This was revealed in the Solicitor General's letter to the Auditor General, That is the annexure. The legal status of Kasoli Association is not evident, and therefore it should not have a legal personality, mandating it to legally transact in any form whatsoever. There is no documentation showing any transition from Kasoli Tenants Association to Kasoli Tenants Circle to justify the Kasoli Tenants Circle seal on documents of Kasoli Tenants Association. Available documents indicate that DFCU granted a mortgage to Kasoli Tenants Circle instead of Kasoli Housing Association. Right Honorable Speaker, this aspect points at none but impersonation, fraud, making the agreement null and void. Our recommendation here is that the House should consider establishing the legal status of Kasoli Tenant Circle and Kasoli Housing Association, since they seem to be different players that are in the center of the Kasoli project. Failure of the committee to make critical scrutiny of the developments of the plots. Despite the original construction plan of 250 housing units for the Kasoli housing project, only 92 were constructed. On examination of the title, only 167 were identified. This would therefore not be able to accommodate the 250 houses as planned in the project. Did plans indicate that some of the houses would overlap each other. It is disturbing to hear that the beneficiaries are pushing for compensation of all the 250 units which were never constructed. Right, Honorable Speaker, if you read further, you will find that the official record of the Kasori Tenant Circle has 83 registered members, but the alleged currently record indicate membership to be 800 people. What do we recommend? An independent audit should be done to ascertain the true beneficiaries under the Kasori housing project to avoid ghost claimants, which may result in loss of huge sums of taxpayers' money. Right, Honorable Speaker. 5, failure of the committee to make proper judgment on the actual land size of the project. A report from Ministry of Works, Transport, Standard Gauge Railway project presented to the committee indicated that initially the area of the land on which Kasori housing project hectares. On the mortgage document, however, a copy of the white page that was available to the ministry did not bear any acreage. Right, Honorable Speaker, when I personally carried out a search, I found out that actually the land measured 10 acres, so which is quite different. We are getting different sizes, and as such, we recommend that this house should reign over and ensure that the actual total land area is established. The government valuer should be compelled to specifically establish the size of the land, of the said land, and inform this house of the same to avoid conflicting figures in line with the land in question. This will guide on how much land was mortgaged and subsequently compensated for. Right, Honorable Speaker, I pray that I read my minority.
Can you conclude on your report?
I'm concluding. Failure of the committee to make proper judgment on Ministry of Lands officials for mismanagement of the partnership. Right, Honorable Speaker, the mandate of the committee is to monitor the performance of ministries, departments, and agencies. On whether approval of the Solicitor General's advice was sought and obtained before signing the partnership agreement between Kasori Housing Association, UN Inhabitant, DFCU Bank, Tororo Municipality Council, and Ministry of Land. It is clear that the Office of the Solicitor General guided that according to Article 119 4B of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, as amended, the Attorney General is supposed to approve any document to which government is party, or in respect of which government has interest prior to execution. There is no record that this agreement was approved by the Office of the Attorney General. In the opinion of the Solicitor General, it was the duty of the Ministry of Lands and Housing to seek for the Attorney General's clearance before embarking on mortgage transaction. Having not done so, they are stopped from denying the legality consequences of their inaction arising out of their actions. So the recommendation is that reckless and negligent officials in the ministry who with impunity refuse to adhere to the known procedures should be brought to book. Right, Honorable Speaker, the spirit of Kasori project was to use it as a model and duplicate it in other areas in a bid to improve the standard of living of low-income earners across the country. The entire project was intended to build 250 housing units, out of which 92 houses were built, implying that there is land of the same project that was not utilized. Therefore, SGR should be advised to use the remaining land because only 92 houses were built. The remaining land to realign its project to save the 92 model houses under the Kasoli project. Further still, if the land is not enough, SGR should be advised to buy more land adjacent or next to the project area, since it is even more cost effective and it will save the taxpayers' money. For instance, an acre of land around the project area is estimated at 40 million. Going by the majority report, government will expend over 7.5 billion in compensation for houses which are basically going to be demolished. And if we purchase land to realign the SGR, considering that an acre of land is approximately 40 million, 10 acres of land will cost 400 million, we shall save 7.1 billion and also save the 92 low-cost houses. Since, Right Honorable Speaker, government has never constructed any low-cost housing unit that are standing in the country. Right Honorable Speaker, today, when I made a further inspection of the title in question, I found out that actually Uganda Land Commission had an attempt to cancel the title because of the illegalities surrounding it. Therefore, I believe that the title that is in question is forged, and the only title that is standing is the leasehold, which cannot in any way be converted to a freehold without conversion. And if they had converted, they should have presented a mother title from leasehold to freehold and written on freehold by the registrar, cancelled from freehold by the registrar. Therefore, it is important to carry out further investigation. This whole matter of Kasoli has irregularities, there is impersonation, there are people, speculators that want to take government money. And therefore, I want this parliament to take interest in that. Right, Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, in the spirit of cohesion in the House, I have heard a report from the majority report and the minority report. I am going to direct the Minister of Lands, Minister of Finance, to make a follow-up on the recommendations that have been made and reconcile the two and have house. Because remember, there's already an advert on the land. People are going to be chased away. Can you intervene and make sure you report back to the House on what actions you've taken? And this should be done within 2 months. Government.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If I understood the gist of this petition, is that the tenants had obtained a loan and they were relying on compensation from SGR to be able to service the loan. And from the report, from what I read from the reports, the land is being, the bank is foreclosing. That is the gist. The bank is foreclosing, isn't it? So if the bank is foreclosing, and these are legal matters, and we are going to go take 2 months to come back with a report.
I am not saying a report, action. It can even be now that you live here, you will go and stop the recovery process from DFCU. It can even be that you live here, you stop the sale of the area. Because the moment you allow the sale, because that land is for SGR. you'll find the same land grabbers here are the ones who are going to go and get that land. So the Minister of Lands and Minister of Finance need to take an immediate action. One, to save the people, to save the land, and also see what can be done to the loan. And then the titles, the two purported titles that are available, which one is legitimate?
And I think that's the direction I was taking. My suggestion was we have the land attorney general, because these are legal matters. I thought that it would be proper that the attorney general would be directed to see how to deal with it legally in the shortest time possible to save it. Because otherwise, it is not, I tend to think that it's going to be difficult when the process goes on without a legal remedy. So the proper advice would be the attorney general be directed actually to intervene and see how to sort it legally.
And I thought it's common knowledge and common sense that no such action can be done without authority of Attorney General under the Constitution. So they must act within the law.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the members for the report. They get to know deeply into the report, then action will be taken and information.
And I want you to be mindful
With the
of
relevant bodies.
I want you to be mindful of the people that are being chased away, the sale that is taking place, the loan that is outstanding, and the land grabbers that can be able to go and get away that land, because in return they will want to sell it back to SGR. So you need to be mindful of the timing.
Right, Honorable, I'm going to, the bodies concerned have to take it as an urgent matter. So it is going to be investigated and the report will be brought back here.
Please.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members. I adjourn the House to 10 tomorrow.